Now, it's true that many of the reviews that you'll read about something online are negative. It's just in our nature that it's easier to complain about something than it is to compliment it. But many of the positive reviews that you see online are little more than paid endorsements. What you'll get from me is the honest to goodness truth. And when I talk to you online about something, a product or a service, it's going to be something that I bought and paid for. In this case, I'm going to talk to you about a gas-powered air compressor, and this is a Hitachi, and it's a model EC2510E, and it's powered by a Honda GX160. This is something that I've used, abused, and I can give you a real-life experience about it. Now, some background, real quickly. Our shop was in major need of an upgrade in the electrical system. We had an old but large Gilbarco air compressor, World War II era. Worked okay, but even common tasks, it would take so long to air up, we had to just sit down and take a break. So we changed over to a DeWalt. And DeWalt makes a fine air compressor. The one we used was more than enough for what we needed in here. However, because it was using the amount of amperage that it was drawing caused us to run around the shop unplugging things, resetting breakers, switching wires around. So it was impractical as well as unsafe. Now this we also use remotely on job sites. So it's multi-purpose piece of equipment. I'm going to give you a summary as well as some specifics, and then we'll crank it up shortly, so at the end of the video you can kind of see what we go through when we're using this. First off, it weighs 144 pounds, almost as big as I am. It's heavy, but it's a wheelbarrow design, so if you can see in the front there is a tire, and there are two rubber-handled grips in the back so that you can lift this up. I can load this into my 3/4 ton pickup truck with little effort just using a ramp. We also put this onto cargo trailers, flatbed trailers, no problem, doesn't bounce around because of its weight. It's got an 8-gallon tank, has your line pressure gauge up front as well as your adjustment. It's got multiple output fittings up here so that you can run 2 devices at once. The Honda GX160, if you know anything about the reputation of Hondas at all, it's based on durability and efficiency. These are fantastic motors, and I've never had a complaint about one. It's carbureted, 1-gallon fuel tank, doesn't use a whole lot of fuel. We've been working consistent long hours with this and have yet to run out of gas. It's got your basic fuel shutoff down here. It's got a lever for your choke. It's got a lever for your idle speed. There's also a switch over here on the side of the engine, electrical on and off. There's a window over here so you can check your oil levels. That's really nice to have. I think it saves most guys from having to make excuses to their wives after they've blown one up on why they should buy another one. I don't think this is in the manual, but I will bring this up. The air pressure relief valve is right here. You can kind of hear it. We open that up before we start this, either hot or cold. It just seems to make cranking a little easier. It's kind of like the engine's not fighting itself. Starts quicker, both cold and hot. This one, I believe, is 9.3 CFM at 100 PSI. And this one will pump up to just under 150 PSI. Now the CFMs were important to us, and if you're, say, winterizing a house, the plumbing system on your RV where you need a lot of line pressure, something like 9 CFM comes in really handy. Now one thing I will say about this is it is loud when it's pressuring up. You know, I don't have a decibel meter, but my ears are telling me it's probably somewhere around 70, 75 decibels. Until it reaches the preset air pressure setting. It does have the idle down feature though, and that's nice. And what I mean by that is when it hits, say, 145 PSI, the engine does not shut off, it just shuts down to a lower RPM. And that's a good thing, because then you can have a conversation in here, you can hear what people are doing, and it will stay like that until it either bleeds down, you let pressure out, or if you're using equipment, it'll kick back up. But that's all automatic. Real nice feature to have. And you know, I can't really say that's a negative about about compressors or generators. They're just by their nature noisy. Okay, open the valve, engine on, choke on, fuel on. So as you probably know by now, I am very satisfied with this air compressor. It's taken a beating from us and it hasn't missed a beat. This is contractor grade, it's professional quality, $900, $700, somewhere in that ballpark. I think it's a great piece of equipment for the heavy use home DIYer. But I'm very happy with it, and I would buy another one. So if you have any questions or comments about the Hitachi EC2510E compressor, hit us up on the web, americanoutdoors.net, or our YouTube channel by the same name. So long, folks. We'll do this again.